How many of you out there just assume that everything's going to be okay? That's called a false sense of security. Are you able to create your own security and comfort? Join me today as we discuss those very things on the Surging Forward podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Surging Forward broadcast, where we're helping you to have a positive view in a negative world. My name is David Valentine, and I'm here to help you see the value in the job you do and how you can keep surging forward. Well, hello again, and welcome to the Surging Forward podcast, where we're going to help create a positive view in a negative world. Well, I got a fantastic show for today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be starting a series as I've never done a series before, so we're going to see how this works out. I've been doing a lot of research because I'm trying to get some courses together. And in that process of getting courses together, you tend to read a lot of different type of books. I find it amazing. Just to write a leadership course, for example, you read probably, 6 or 7 books at one time. And it's like, wow, so you get a lot of information all at once. And I tell you, that's one of the amazing things I find about, technology. I have quite a few books in my house, but I have my Kindle, and even though I like feeling the pages of the books and reading, I love my Kindle because I get all these books on at one time. The problem is I'm reading a lot of books at one time and I can't finish any of them. So, but that's one of the big things here. But again, I want to take a few minutes to welcome you to the Surging Forward podcast. This is a show that helps you to be able to grow in that leadership position, especially if you're in the trades or if you're in the contracting world, or no matter what kind of career you have. We're focused on trying to help others, and actually we're doing a good job because we're getting a lot of great emails. So I want to thank you for your emails coming in and all the positive notes there, as we continue to help you to keep surging forward. That's the whole idea of this podcast. It's not just what I do on the side for training contractors and training in CEUs and all of that. If you are a contractor and you're listening to this and you happen to be in one of the trades as far as electrical, plumbing, HVAC, or whatever the case may be, you can check out our website at www.surgingforward.com. That's where you'll find a lot of courses there. If you're looking to go into business for yourself as any contractor for that matter, whether it's a general contractor or whatever, and we have a lot of the courses that are required by the states, for various things on law, some of the legal aspects and, some of the technical stuff also. So we have a lot of those on your website there. You simply go on the website, you'll see a big map there. Just click on the state that you're in and you'll see a lot of, courses there. But again, we're here. I want to focus on this issue to teach some of the leadership skills that are needed for you to excel in the trade. So throughout my readings, actually my wife, my wonderful wife, I have to give her credit. She's the one that kind of gave me the idea of say, why don't you do a series? Because I was talking to her, I say, I try to keep these down to about 20 to 30 minutes so that you can listen to it on the way to work or just kind of a real quick, relaxing listen to. Nothing you have to really spend hours and hours on. That's why I spread things apart. So she said, why don't you just do a series? I said, wow, I never thought of that. So that's kind of what I'm doing this time. So that's why I kind of did real quick with the intro because I really want to get into this. There's some pretty cool stuff that I want to talk about. And the title of this, and we're going to be doing probably 6 episodes on this. We just had a great interview last week with Chad Flynn, and so that was a fantastic episode we had with that about, the Electric Academy. And I have a couple other interviews probably coming up. But like I say, I've got a lot of teaching gigs that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be doing a bit of traveling, running around. But I just wanted to, get this out. And I'm going to keep these on the next 6 in a row here. And so what we're going to be talking about is the 6 basic human needs. Now, where did I get these? Where did I come up with this? This is not all Dave Ballantyne stuff. I've gotten them out of quite a few different leadership books as I've been reading some of Zig Ziglar's stuff. Some of the great things like Win Friends and Influence People. I would really encourage you to get a hold of that book. John Maxwell's 360 Leadership. Fantastic book. John Maxwell has a lot of fantastic books out there, and I would really recommend a lot of his reading. So, and again, there's quite a few other ones out there that I've been reading, but this is going to be kind of a synopsis of what I've gotten out of some of those books, is some of our basic human needs that we're all striving to get. And sometimes we do it the right way. Sometimes we do it the wrong way. And sometimes I think we just all, and I think I'm guilty of this also, we just kind of muddle through it. We're not sure what's working and what's not. And so I'm going to try to address some of these. Before I start, let's talk about what they are. And of course, each one is going to have its own separate topic, but I wanted to put these out from the first episode here. The first one, and we're going to be talking about in this one here, is called certainty and comfort. We all want to have that comfort zone and security. Okay. The next thing is variety. We all crave to have a certain amount of variety in our lives. We don't like that mundane, boring, same old everything. It just kind of gets, the boredom kind of takes advantage of us and we just kind of lose our minds after a while. The third thing is significance. Deep down, we all want to be important. We want to, have somebody say that we mean something. That's where the depression sets in. If we don't think we're making a difference with anybody, it's like, wow, what am I doing here? So we're going to be talking about some of these real tough topics that a lot of people don't talk about, but many of us need to hear it. And I've done a lot of private discussions with some friends of mine that are real close, and they say, wow, Dave, it's going to be some interesting topics there. The fourth one's a big one. Connection and love. So each one of these is going to be titled there, and this is the 4th episode, so we won't be talking about this on this one, but connection and love. That includes, lust. That includes, what? Yeah, we're getting to the topic of sex. Why do we crave so many things sometimes? So love, we're going to be talking about that. The 5th one is growth. You get some people say they don't want to grow, they're happy where they're at, but I think it's a little bit more out of fear than being happy with your at. Again, that's just my opinion. So, you can take it, leave it, just like anything else in this show. It's not required. What I say is not gospel, my friends. I'm here just to give you something to think about. And the 6th and final thing we're going to be talking about is contribution. What is your desire? We're going to be talking about, we all have this desire to contribute something. And it goes back to that significance, to make a difference. So we're going to see how all these things kind of tie together. So sit back, relax, and again, I look forward to your comments. Feel free to send me an email. I put the email out. A lot of people send me emails because they like the confidentiality, and that's cool. I'm more than happy to answer your emails. I will answer them directly. Just send them over to Dave@surgingforward.com. And at this point, I'm still answering every email out there, guys, and that's taking up a lot of the time. I didn't realize how much time that actually takes because I put a lot of thought into those. So I want to thank you for sending those to me. But I would love if you could pass around information about the podcast. Let people know. Just share us on Facebook. If you go on a Facebook site, you always see our podcast. We're actually publishing the podcast now on Facebook. Now, to me, that's kind of exciting, because it gets the word out there. And plus, it really, it allows people to interact a little bit there. And, so I get a lot of questions, but I still get a lot of questions through email. People see it there and then they go to the site and they find out my email address and they'll send me questions anywhere from, how do I get my CEUs from my state? to, how do I deal with this issue on my job site? So I don't know. I'm starting to feel like the Dear Abby of the construction world, if I can say that. But that's all right. That's cool. And again, we're always going to try to keep it positive and keep it upbeat. So the first one I want to talk about here is that certainty and comfort. We all want to have that certain amount of comfort in our life. And it all comes from, we want to kind of have a knowledge of what is going to happen tomorrow. We want to know that when we get up in the morning, the car is going to start. I got up one morning to get ready to go to work, and everything was great. The car started, and I'm like tromping down the driveway, and I heard this flop, 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 and the tire is flat. And it's like, really? Your whole day just kind of like goes to pot right then. It's like, oh my gosh. So it's not that I don't know how to change a tire. It's like, wow, I have all this stuff planned, and I really don't have time for that. Well, we never have time for problems, but we strive to have this comfort and this security. And I think that's what keeps us tied into some of these dead-end jobs sometimes, to be bluntly. Why we don't choose to succeed and think out of the box, because we have this false sense of security. We all want to know that when we go to the tap to open up the water, that water's going to flow. Well, there's a lot of people who were affected by the hurricanes a while back, through Texas, through Puerto Rico, and through Florida. That didn't happen. That it's like, wow, it's things that we take for granted. We don't think that we're never not going to have them. So there's this drive, and we just kind of go crazy. It's like, oh no, what are we going to do now? We have no sense of thought. Well, certainty and comfort, we have to be very careful, because certainty and comfort, you cannot depend on other people to give you that certainty and comfort. You have to make the right choices for yourself to have a certain amount of security and certainty and comfort. You see, it's great working for a job that you love and that you enjoy, and that's okay. But you get this false sense of security that because I work a full-time job, that I'm going to be okay. And so you just kind of take it for granted. And then all of a sudden, when that job is gone, you're just devastated. You haven't done any planning for the future. You haven't done any planning financially, and you don't know how you're going to make it. I listen to some of the financial advisors, and they'll tell you, hey, you should have at least 6 months in the bank, so that if something happens, then you can survive for 6 months. Oh my gosh, who's got 6 months in the bank? Look at have $600 in the bank extra. If you're lucky, let alone, what, $5 grand, $6 grand, 12 grand, 18 grand? I don't know, whatever it is you make, do it by 6 months. And that's a lot of money. And so most of us don't have that. And so when we lose our job, it becomes a devastation. Well, let me bring you some comfort on that. Certainty and comfort can be created by you by doing a couple things. And let's think about some of the things you can do. Number one is listen to this podcast. Now, this is one of many podcasts. Now, I hope that some of you guys listen to a lot of different podcasts out there, and they're not just all fun and games podcasts. I mean, being entertained is cool. Nothing wrong with entertainment, man. Believe me, I love sitting down watching a good football game. And hey, I'm a Star Trek fan. I love Star Trek, and I'm kind of looking forward to the new one coming out. I think they're calling it Discovery. And I believe it came out a while back. It was back on September 24th that it came out. So yeah, I have to go on CBS Access and check that out. But, I enjoy a good entertainment. Nothing wrong with going to a show, going to a movie theater, going to a play, and just enjoying yourself. You need that recreation. We need that. And I'm going to be talking about that when we talk about variety and different things like that. But it's not all the time. I think sometimes I spend way too much money and too much time drinking, partying, and being merry. And again, I'm talking reality here. There's no reason to go out there, be drinking and partying and just having a good time all the time, because You're not doing anything to prepare. You're in a false sense of security, thinking that what you have is never going to be gone. You should always take a certain amount of time to prepare, and education is crucial. Again, just listen to podcasts, finding out how you can grow your life, investment, financial, into the future. How many of you invest into the stock market at all? How many of you guys have any kind of life insurance? Oh, you never thought about it? Well, this isn't a show about life insurance and your financial integrity, but knowing that you have certain things in place is going to give you that real security and comfort to where when a catastrophe happens, no, it's still going to be a catastrophe, my friends. Don't get me wrong, but you have a little bit of stuff prepared. You have something ready. So your certainty and comfort is created through what you do. And there also, you also want to have that sense of peace to where it's not about, okay, relying on other people to do things for you. Because in a natural disaster and a catastrophe, many people are going to be taking care of themselves. Now, yes, you're going to get outside help and a lot of people coming in to help you out. But when you lose your job, well, I hate to be cruel and terrible, but most of the time when you lose your job, most people are busy. And I've lost my job before. I've been laid off. And when you get laid off, you're like, wow, okay, they tell you to go down to the unemployment. Okay, well, I did that. I go down to the unemployment. I was like, okay, they're there for me. And then I get told, well, it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks to get this little measly couple $100. And I'm like, wow, you're kidding me. And it's like, well, then they tell me, don't be so negative because you deserve this job money. And I said, well, I'm going to have a job in a couple weeks. And they're telling me not to be negative. So, I just had this drive to go find work. And if I can't find work, I'm going to do what I can to create work and do something on my own. So you got to have some kind of drive. Don't always count on everybody else. And it's about living honestly and also integrity and so forth and so on, which I've talked about many of those in the past. So don't let your certainty and your comfort and your security be dependent on somebody else. Do things in small steps. Create your own security. But again, go step by step. Just take small little steps. You have this little over here and a little bit over there. And before you know it, you've got some good things going on. Take the time to educate yourself. Don't be satisfied with the status quo. When you sit on the job site and you're listening to all these negative people just crab and complain about the job all the time, well, that should give you very little security. Because if you think about it, your employer that you're working for, he is in the business to make money. So if all people he has working for him and you're around him and you hear all the negativity, how long do you think those people are going to be working for him when he lays everybody off and he's not making any money? How long do you think he'll stay in business if he's not making any money? So again, create your own security by making yourself valuable to your employer. Making yourself valuable, saying, okay, I'm learning these things. I'm not expecting my employer to pay for every bit of my education. Is that a good thing? Oh, absolutely. That's a perk. That's a benefit. But yet for us to expect that the employer has to pay for our education, that's just wrong. Why should an employer pay for all your education? No, it's great. I do think, don't get me wrong, I think employers need to educate and train their employees. But if you look at the money that's spent on so many things, on safety nowadays, and their required training, they really don't have the money a lot of time to give you the technical training. And so sometimes we have to step out and go get our own training. That's one of the reasons I started Surging Forward originally, is to give affordable electrical, plumbing, and HVAC training. And, in regards to the codes and some of the legal stuff and for starting your own business, I try to make it affordable so that people can get it. And it's not about, things do cost, so you can't expect everything to be free. I get the thing out there all the time. Everybody thinks the National Electrical Code should be free. Well, it costs money to print all that stuff. It costs money to, get all that information together. Somebody's paying, nothing in this world is free. So if you're expecting things for free and you're living off of anything that's free, my friend, that is a false comfort. That is a false security. And so you're not going to have true comfort because you're always going to have to be worried about what's going to happen. There is no absolute certainty on anything. You see, something can happen any time. You can get into a car wreck. I have one of my guys who was in my apprenticeship class, and he's actually in my 4th year this year. He is working hard in his class, but he had an unexpected calamity. But his motivation and his pushing forward is such an inspiration to me that I go, wow, and he is going to go on to do great things because he knows that he knows, and he's not letting anybody tell him otherwise. But he didn't sit out there and go, okay, today somebody is going to rear end me and wipe out my back and cause me not to fall and walk, and I'm going to prepare for this. No, you can't prepare for those things. Life happens. And so there is no perfect way, but what you can do is keep that positive attitude and put certain things in place to where your drive, you make the choices that are going to help you achieve the comfort level that you desire. Not relying on somebody else to give it to you. And I've said this all the time in the past. We have the ability to make a choice. It's a God-given thing that we have been given. I mean, I think that, hey, I don't want to get into any controversies or anything like that out there, but that is what separates us from the animals. And I love animals. I got my 2 dogs. I love my critters. I respect wildlife. I think that's a wonderful thing, but animals do not have a free choice to make their lives any better. That's why they live in their certain habitats and do their thing. Us as human beings, we have been given God-given abilities to make our lives better. And we all have an equal opportunity to do that. You cannot blame somebody else for doing it. There are so many people that have rose up from the ashes to make wonderful things in this world and contributions to this whole world. And they came from a bad upbringing. They came from a bad life. They came from nothing, but they became something. Why is it? Because there's that drive in there that the certainty and comfort that we have through life comes by us making a positive choice to continue to keep surging forward. See, I had to bring that in there, didn't I? Well, hey guys, I'm going to go wrap it up right now. We're getting to that point, and I hope this is just a little thing. Like I say, these are just baby steps I'm putting out there. Read a book. When was the last time you read a book? I challenge you. Just read a book. It's so easy nowadays. Just put it on your phone. You can download them for free. And if you don't know what kind of book to read, hey, send me an email. I'll send you a bunch of recommendations. Not a problem. But again, read something. Check out something online that you haven't checked out. We live in a world where you can just Google whatever. Go read about it. Take one of my courses. If you're an HVAC guy, take an electrical course. Hey, why not? You might learn something there on code. Electrical guys, take an HVAC one. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Don't just stay in your little box. Venture out. Create your own certainty and comfort to where you're making a difference, not relying on someone else. Hey guys, I want to thank you for your time today. I want to ask that you have a great week. I want to pray safety over all of you. And again, I keep all of you guys in my prayers and all my friends. And, I want to thank you for all the encouragement that you give me for doing this podcast. I'm going to say that probably every time because I get so many. It really means a lot. And so, it just also lets me know that people do hear me and they're listening to this. So keep those coming in. But the biggest way you can thank me is just share this with somebody else. Just show a friend how to use the podcast. Show them how to download it on their phone. Show them how easy it is. That's what I find amazing about this media. I mean, it's just amazing. So anyway, I don't want to get on to rambling. I just want everybody to have a great day. So stay safe and keep surging forward. God bless, my friends. You all have a great week, and we shall be talking to you next week about variety. Take care.